box under the stairs in the corner of the basement in the house half a block down the street from Jerry's bait shop. You know the place. Well, anyways, back then life was going swell and everything was just peachy! Except, of course, for the undeniable fact that every single morning, my mother would make me a big old bowl of sauerkraut for breakfast. Big bowl of sauerkraut! Every single morning, it was driving me crazy. I said to my mom, "Hey, Mom, what's up with all the sauerkraut?" And my dear sweet mother, she just looked at me like a cow looks at an oncoming train. And she leaned right down next to me, and she said, "It's good for you!" And then she tied me to the wall and stuck a funnel in my mouth and forced me nothing but sauerkraut until I was 26 and a half years old. That's when I swore that one day I'd get out of that basement and travel to a magical, faraway place where the sun is always shining and the air smells like warm root beer and the towels are oh so fluffy, where the Shriners and the lepers play their ukuleles all day long and anyone on the street will gladly shave your back for a nickel. Waka waka doo, yeah. Well, let me tell you people, it wasn't long at all before my dream came true. Because about a week later, a local radio station had this competition to see who could correctly guess the number of molecules in Leonard Nimoy's butt. I was off by 3, but I still won the grand prize. That's right, a first-class one-way ticket to Albuquerque. Albuquerque. Oh yeah, you know, I'd never been on a real airplane before, and I gotta tell you, it was really great. Except, of course, that I was stuck between 2 large Albanian women with excruciatingly severe body odor, and the kid behind me kept throwing up the whole time. And the flight attendants ran out of salted peanuts and Dr. Pepper, oh yeah, 3 of the engines burned out, and we went into a tailspin, and we crashed into a mountainside, and the plane exploded in a giant fireball, and everybody died. Except for me. You know why? Because I had my tray table up, and my seat back in the full upright position, had my tray table up. And my seat back in the full upright position, had my tray table up. And my seat back in the full upright position. Woo! I crawled from the twisted burning wreckage. I crawled on my hands and knees for 3 whole days, dragging along my big leather suitcase and my garment bag and my tenor saxophone and my 12-pound bowling ball and my lucky autographed glow-in-the-dark snorkel. But finally I arrived at the world-famous Albuquerque Holiday Inn, where the towels are oh so fluffy, and you can eat your soup right out of the ashtrays if you wanna. It's okay, they're clean. So I checked in the room, and I turned down the AC, and I turned on the Spectrovision, and I'm just about to eat that little chocolate mint on my pillow that I love so very, very much, but suddenly, there's a knock on the door. Well, now, who could that be? Who is it? No answer. Who is it? There's no answer. Who is it? They're not saying anything. So I open the door, and just as I suspected, it's a big old hockey player with a Fleck seagull's haircut and only 1 nostril. Oh man, I hate it when I'm right. So he bursts in my room and he grabs my lucky snorkel. I'm like, "Hey, you can't have that. This is just like a snorkel to me." And he's like, "Tough." And he's like, "Tough." And I'm like, "Give it." And he's like, "Make me." And I'm like, "Okay." So I grabbed his leg and he bit on right here and I, hold on. He grabbed my appendix and gave me a colonic irrigation. Yes, indeed, you better believe it. And somehow, in the middle of it all, the phone got knocked off the hook. And 20 seconds later, I heard a familiar voice. You know what it said? I'll tell you what it said. It said, "If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator. If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator. In Albuquerque. Albuquerque." So to cut a long story short, he got away with my snorkel. But I made a solemn vow then and there that I would not rest. I would not sleep for an instant until the 1-nostriled man was brought to justice. But first I decided to get some donuts. So I hopped in my car and I went down to the donut shop and I walked on up to the guy behind the counter and he says, "Yeah, what do you want?" I said, "You got any Bouquet's donuts?" He said, "No, we're out of glazed donuts. I said, you got any jelly donuts? He said, no, we're out of jelly donuts. I said, you got any Bavarian cream-filled donuts? He said, no, we're out of Bavarian cream-filled donuts. I said, you got any cinnamon rolls? He said, no, we're out of cinnamon rolls. I said, you got any apple fritters? He said, no, we're out of apple fritters. I said, you got any bear claws? He said, wait a minute, I'll go check. No, we're out of bear claws. I said, well, in that case, what do you have? He said, all I got right now is a box of 1 dozen starving crazed weasels. I said, okay, I'll take that. So he hands me the box and I open up the lid and the weasels jump out and they immediately latch onto my face and start fighting me all over. You would never tear me apart. And it was just about then a little ditty started going in my head. I believe it went something like this. Flesh-eating weasels all over my face, just running like a constipated wiener dog, waving my arms all around. And as luck would have it, that's exactly when I ran into the girl of my dreams. Her name was Zelda. She was a calligraphy enthusiast with a slight overbite and hair the color of strained peaches. I'll never forget the very first thing she said to me. She said, hey, you got weasels on your face. That's when I knew it was true love. We were inseparable after that. Oh, we ate together, we bathed together, we even shared the same piece of mint-flavored dental floss. The world was our Rio. My house and I had 2 beautiful children, Nathaniel and Superfly. Oh, we were so very, very, very happy. Oh, yeah. But then one fateful night, Zelda said to me, she said, Sweetie Pumpkin, do you want to join the Columbia Record Club? I said, whoa, hold on now, baby. I'm just not ready for that kind of a commitment. So we broke up and I never saw her again. But that's just the way things go. The way things go. In Albuquerque. Albuquerque. Things started looking up for me after that, because a week later I achieved my lifelong dream. That's right, I got me a part-time job at the Sizzler. I even got Employee of the Month after I put out that grease fire with my face. Yeah, everyone was pretty jealous of me after that. I was getting a lot of attitude. Okay, like, this one time I was out in the parking lot trying to remove my excess earwax with a golf pencil when I see this guy Marty trying to move a big old sofa up some stairs by himself. And so I asked him, I said, hey, you need any help with that? He said, no, I want you to cut off my arms and legs with a chainsaw. I think I'm ahead. So I did. And then he gets all indignant on me, and I was like, hey man, I was just being sarcastic. Well, that's just great. How was I supposed to know that? I'm not a mind reader for crying out loud. See, that reminds me of another amusing anecdote. So this guy walks up to me on the street and he tells me he hasn't had a bite in 3 days. Well, I knew what he meant, but just to be funny, I took a big bite out of his jugular vein and he's yelling and screaming and bleeding all over and I'm like, hey, come on. Hey, come on, don't you get it? And he's bleeding and screaming and rolling on the sidewalk. You know, completely missing the irony of the situation. Some people just can't take a joke. Anyways. Where was I? Okay, well, I know it's been kind of a roundabout way of saying it, but I guess the whole point I'm really trying to make here is, I guess, just that I hate sauerkraut! Yeah, that's all I'm really trying to say. And if one day you wake up and happen to find yourself in an existential quandary full of loathing and self-doubt and racked with the pain and isolation of your pitiful, meaningless existence, I hope you can take a small piece of comfort knowing that somewhere out there in this crazy mixed-up universe of ours, there's still a little place called